Welcome to the Conscious Tutors Year 4 Addition and Subtraction Overview. So children in Year 4 need to know 3 main objectives for the topic of addition and subtraction. The first one is to add and subtract numbers with up to 4 digits and numbers in the thousands using formal written methods of columnar addition and subtraction. This is when it's appropriate. So that means if they can do the calculation mentally, then they aren't required to show written methods unless they've been asked to. And they also need to be able to estimate and use the inverse operation to check answers to a calculation. So let's look at these first 2 objectives because they're very much linked together. So if we had the number 5,348, we'll do a number that crosses the boundary, added to 5,300, so 5,348 added to 2,333. So we look at our ones first. Our ones, tens, hundreds and thousands need to be lined up directly underneath one another accurately. So looking at the ones, 8 add 3 is 11. So we carry the 10 over. 4 add 3, remember, is the same as 40 add 30 because we're now looking at the value of the tens column. We just say 4 add 3 for shorthand, but it's important that children understand that this is really worth 4 tens and this is really worth 3 tens. So 4 add 3, add the carried 10 is 8 tens, which is 80. Hundreds column, 300 add 300 is 600. So put 6 down here. And the thousands, 5 add 2,000 is 7,000. So if we link this to the second objective of doing the inverse, we could say 7,681 subtract 2,333. So 1 take away 3 we can't do, so we need to exchange. So the 8 tens becomes 7 tens, and we've given that 10 to our ones column. So now we've got 11 take away 3. 8. 7 take away 3, or 7 tens take away 3 tens is 4 tens. 600 take away 300 is 300. And then looking at the thousands, 7 take away 2 is 5,000. So you can see very clearly that this number and this number are the same. So our inverse check has worked. Okay. Now the step that comes prior to this step would have been rounding these numbers. So 5,348, if we look at this first one here, rounded to the nearest 100 would be 5,300. Okay. And 2,333 rounded to the nearest 100 again is 2,300. So we look at rounding a bit more in our place value unit. And then if we added these together, we've got 7,600, and you can see that this answer is correct, even if we hadn't done this calculation before. But just from our rounding estimation, we know that we're looking for an answer that is around the 7,600 mark. The final objective for Year 4 addition and place value is to solve addition and subtraction two-step problems in contexts. So this is sort of real life situations. So then they're giving worded problems, deciding which operations and methods to use and why. So in order to do this, children need to have a really good understanding of the base 10 and place value. They need to be able to round numbers appropriately, estimate as well, and also understand the vocabulary that is involved in problems such as this. So a two-step problem will often incorporate some aspect of addition and subtraction. It may involve questions relating to money or measures, just to make it feel real life. So for example, we could have a question which says, in this jug there is 850 milliliters of water. 400 milliliters is poured out. How many milliliters is left? So this is the question of doing 850 subtract 400, something that we would expect children in Year 4 to be able to do mentally. But it is a one-step operation. There's only subtraction involved. If it was a two-step operation, you could have something like 850 milliliters in this jug of water, maybe 70 milliliters of concentrate, of orange concentrate is added. Then maybe 358 milliliters is poured out. How many milliliters are left in the jug? So that would be a two-step problem, and this one would be a one-step problem. That's it from the Conscious Tutor. Thank you for listening to Year 4 Addition and Subtraction Overview.